Rome dominates the known world. Her legions march victorious from Hispania to the shores of Asia Minor. The Republic is experiencing unprecedented expansion, but also profound internal instability. Three men control Rome's destiny: Gnaeus Pompey the Great, Julius Caesar, and Marcus Licinius Crassus. This secret pact, known as the First Triumvirate, maintains a delicate balance of power. However, one of these men feels his glory pales compared to that of his partners. Marcus Licinius Crassus is the richest man in Rome. His fortune is legendary. He owns silver mines, vast tracts of land, and a private army of slaves that acts as a fire brigade in the capital. He buys properties at ridiculous prices during fires and executes his political enemies to confiscate their estates. But all his wealth cannot buy what he desires most: military glory comparable to that of Pompey, who conquered the East, or to Caesar, who is currently subduing Gaul with spectacular victories. At 60 years old, Crassus feels time slipping away, and with it, his last chance for the immortal fame he craves. In the year 55 BC, Crassus obtains the governorship of the province of Syria. He immediately begins planning an invasion of the Parthian Empire, the successor to the ancient Persian Empire, stretching from the Euphrates to India. The Parthians are a people of nomadic origin who overthrew the heirs of Alexander the Great and established their own empire. Their king, Euphrates II, rules from Ctesiphon over a vast territory rich in resources. Crassus sees in the Parthians a golden opportunity. He imagines incalculable riches waiting to be plundered in the cities of Mesopotamia. He pictures himself parading through Rome with oriental treasures, eclipsing Pompey's triumphs. Moreover, he believes that the Parthians, horseback warriors from the steppes, cannot match the discipline and organization of the Roman legions. It is a fatal calculation. The Roman Senate does not formally authorize this war. There is no provocation whatsoever from the Parthians, no violated treaty, no threat to Roman territory. But Crassus doesn't need senatorial approval. He has imperium, military authority in his province, and is determined to use it. He ignores the warnings of the augurs, who declare the omens unfavorable. When he crosses the Euphrates, a tribune of the plebs attempts to stop him by invoking sacred curses. Crassus simply continues his march. In the year 54 BC, Crassus crosses the Euphrates with 7 Roman legions, approximately 35,000 heavy infantry, 4,000 light infantry soldiers, and 4,000 Gallic and Thracian horsemen. It is a formidable force by Roman standards, but completely inadequate for the type of warfare he is about to face. His son, Publius Licinius Crassus, accompanies him commanding the cavalry. Young Publius has served brilliantly under Caesar in Gaul and is eager to prove his valor. During this first campaign, Crassus conquers several cities in Mesopotamia without facing significant resistance. The Parthians seem to avoid direct combat. This apparent ease feeds the Roman general's confidence. He returns to Syria to spend the winter, convinced that the next campaign will bring him the definitive victory and the glory he so desperately craves. Meanwhile, King Euphrates II assesses the situation strategically. The Parthians have studied Roman tactics for years. They know the legions are invincible in close combat, that their discipline and formation make them almost indestructible in traditional pitched battle. But they also know their weakness. Roman cavalry is mediocre, and the legions depend on compact formations that require favorable terrain. Euphrates divides his army. He will personally march against Armenia to punish King Artavasdes, who had promised aid to the Romans. Meanwhile, he entrusts the defense against Crassus to one of his most brilliant generals, a nobleman named Surena. It is a decision that will change the course of history. Surena is young, barely 30 years old, but already possesses a formidable reputation. He belongs to one of the oldest and most powerful families in the empire. According to tradition, it is his privilege to personally crown each new Parthian king. Now he has the opportunity to demonstrate his military genius. Despite the scarcity of available troops, Surena assembles a force of approximately 10,000 horsemen, 1,000 cataphracts, heavy cavalry protected with complete armor, and 9,000 mounted archers, the main force of the Parthian army. In the spring of 53 BC, Crassus crosses the Euphrates again. This time he plans a more direct route toward Ctesiphon and the heart of the Parthian Empire. Local guides advise him to follow the river's course, where he will have abundant water and secure supply lines. But an Arab chieftain named Ariamnes, secretly in Surena's service, convinces Crassus to take a shorter route through the Mesopotamian desert. He promises that the Parthians are in full retreat and that he can easily catch them on open ground. Crassus accepts the fatal advice. The Roman legions march into the desert interior under a blazing sun. Water becomes scarce. The soldiers, loaded with heavy armor and equipment, suffer the intense heat. The terrain is completely flat, without natural features where they can establish defenses or ambushes. It is the perfect stage for Parthian cavalry. Near the city of Carrhae, the Roman legions finally encounter Surena's army. The Romans are exhausted from the march but maintain their confidence. After all, they are 7 complete legions against an apparently small force of horsemen. Crassus orders his troops to form battle order. The legions deploy in traditional formation, an immense square with soldiers in closed ranks, overlapping shields, spears pointing forward. It is the formation that has conquered the known world, but Surena has no intention of attacking it directly. The Parthian archers begin riding around the Roman legions in wide circles, always beyond the reach of spears and swords. They shoot their powerful composite bows with deadly precision. Arrows fall like rain upon the Romans. The shields offer some protection, but Parthian arrowheads are designed to penetrate armor. The heavy iron tips punch through Roman chainmail and even pierce the edges of their rectangular shields. Soldiers begin to fall. The Romans attempt to form the testudo, the famous tortoise formation, where shields interlock, creating a protective roof. But this makes them completely immobile. The Parthians simply continue shooting. They have an apparently endless supply of arrows, thanks to a camel caravan that constantly resupplies the archers. Crassus sends scouts to assess the real size of the enemy army. The Parthians chase them down and kill them with ease. The Roman general realizes with growing horror that he cannot reach the enemy. The legions are combat machines designed for frontal clash, but the Parthians refuse direct engagement. For hours, the arrows continue falling. The Romans are being massacred without being able to respond. Some soldiers attempt to charge the archers, but they simply gallop away. The Roman cavalry is too slow and heavy to catch them. The desert sun becomes as deadly as the arrows. Men are desperate for water. Their throats burn with thirst as sweat pours down inside their heavy armor. Finally, Crassus makes a desperate decision. He orders his son Publius to take the Gallic cavalry, 500 archers and 8 cohorts of light infantry, approximately 4,000 men in total, and pursue the Parthians to force them into combat. It is exactly what Surena is waiting for. Publius Crassus leads the charge bravely. The Parthians retreat, apparently in disorder. The young Roman commander believes he finally has them. He pursues the archers farther and farther from the main body of the legions. Then Surena gives the order. The cataphracts, who have been hidden behind the dunes, suddenly emerge. The Parthian cataphracts are a terrifying sight. Both rider and horse are completely covered in metal scale armor that gleams like fish scales under the merciless sun. They carry long lances and charge in tight formation. They are almost immune to Roman weapons. They crash into Publius's force like a hammer against an anvil. The Gauls fight desperately. They try to cut the horses' legs or push the lances upward to unseat the riders, but they are completely surrounded. The mounted archers continue shooting from a distance while the cataphracts tear through the Roman lines in close combat. It is a massacre. Publius Crassus, wounded by multiple arrows and seeing the situation is hopeless, orders his shield-bearer to kill him to avoid capture. The Parthians decapitate his body. Of the 4,000 men who went out with him, only about 500 managed to return to the main lines, and they do so gravely wounded. From the distance, old Crassus sees the dust cloud where his son is being destroyed. He attempts to send reinforcements, but it is too late. When the survivors return telling him of Publius's fate, the elderly general crumbles. He has lost his son and his arrogance has led him to disaster. Surena orders that Publius's head be placed on a spear and paraded in front of the Roman lines. The psychological effect is devastating. The soldiers, already exhausted and demoralized, see proof of their defeat. Crassus attempts to speak words of encouragement, but his voice is broken with grief. Night falls. The Romans are surrounded without water, with thousands dead and wounded. Crassus orders the retreat toward Carrhae under cover of darkness. They abandon 4,000 wounded who cannot walk. At dawn, the Parthians find them and slaughter them without mercy. The survivors reach Carrhae, but the city offers no real security. They are trapped. Surena sends messengers offering to negotiate. He promises safe passage if the Romans abandon all territory east of the Euphrates. Crassus suspects a trap, but his officers pressure him to accept. They have no options. During the meeting, the situation deteriorates rapidly. Accounts vary on exactly what happens, but the result is clear. A fight breaks out between Romans and Parthians. Crassus is killed in the chaos. Some accounts say Surena orders molten gold poured into Crassus's corpse's mouth, mocking his legendary greed. His head is sent to King Euphrates, who at that moment is attending a theatrical performance of Euripides' The Bacchae. Crassus's head is used as a prop in the play. Without their commander, the Roman legions disintegrate. Some groups attempt to escape on their own. Most are pursued and annihilated. Of the 42,000 men who cross the Euphrates with Crassus, approximately 20,000 die in battle or during the retreat. Another 10,000 are captured and taken as prisoners to the most remote regions of the Parthian Empire, where they are forced to serve as frontier soldiers. Only about 10,000 manage to return to Roman territory. But the most symbolic loss is the capture of the legionary eagles, the sacred standards of the legions. For Romans, losing an eagle is an unbearable humiliation. The Parthians display these eagles as trophies of their victory. The Battle of Carrhae is one of the most catastrophic military disasters in Rome's history. Not only do 20,000 soldiers die, but the mystique of the legion's invincibility is shattered. The Parthians demonstrate that Rome is not invincible, that its tactics can be overcome, that its expansion has limits. The political consequences are immediate. The first triumvirate crumbles with Crassus's death. The delicate balance between Pompey and Caesar breaks. One man's excessive ambition has precipitated the deaths of thousands and sown the seeds of civil war that will soon tear the Republic apart. For the Parthians, Carrhae is their moment of maximum glory. Surena becomes a hero, though his fame will be his downfall. King Euphrates, jealous of his popularity, will order his execution shortly afterward. But the Parthian victory ensures that the Euphrates will remain the border between two empires for centuries. The frontier between Rome and Persia becomes permanent. No Roman conqueror will ever again cross the Euphrates with Crassus's grandiose hopes. The ambition of a wealthy man seeking military glory has ended in tragedy, reminding future generations that wealth does not guarantee wisdom, and that arrogance in war is paid for with blood.